I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
And this is our first ever nighttime Nightline official song.
You're still awake with us.
So, what did we do earlier? That
Vermilion,
that
part
mean
2.
song. Yeah, Vermilion Part 2 from Slipknot, where Sori said she wanted me to stalk her in the bushes.
I said I did not want that.
Oh, well, you know what? Guys, watch Vermilion Part 2 and come to your own conclusion.
I don't want that. It's creepy. I already said that.
We'll
see.
Now we're going to listen to a band. I'm actually extremely excited to listen to this band. There's been a ton of hype on this.
Yeah, we've got a lot of requests for this one since the beginning.
I don't know if this is one of those bands that's going to get graduated to a primetime band or if this is going to stay as a nightline band. I don't know. This could be another Devin Townsend. But anyway.
I'm excited that it's a female vocalist.
Yeah, so somebody gave a really cool title like the Women of Metal or something like that. Like a Woman of Metal series. So basically, yeah, so this, OTEP, bands like that, where there's a woman as a front man. And thank you for
I know I'm OCD a little bit.
You couldn't
on
do that during like an outtake or something?
Nope.
Okay, here we are. We're an official YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. We're professionals.
We're genuine though.
Oh yeah, that's the way you can like cover over that stuff. Oh, we're a real channel. We're real. We're not all, you know.
Oh my, look at your thing. Let me fix it.
It's not that we don't know what we're doing. Okay, so this is Jinjer is the name of the band, I think. Jinger or Ginger, I'm not sure. I'm sure we'll be corrected.
Oh, you know what? You kept saying it, and I'm like, I don't remember hearing that because every time in my head I pronounce it Jinger.
Jinger.
I don't know what it really is.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody will correct us.
Write it phonetically?
Phonetically. They'll spell it right. It's this, you idiot.
And we'll probably get 10 different interpretations.
This is Pisces. Now, this is a live performance. Usually we try to put the lyrics on there, but this is a live performance. People were saying, you know, watch the live performance. So
sorry to all our international people.
So here you go, Jinjer or Jinger, and this is Pisces. And we're off.
Suffering with smile, I drew a different reality with unconditional loyalty. Ego hardly can be because I'm
I was not expecting that.
No!
Not at all.
Not at all!
no promises I ever give. Don't rely on me and I won't deceive. The beginning or the end you can't tell when I wave my fear and shake my tail.
prepared now.
Virgin innocence, one being brings life, with all the rest for death. Still among beliefs, virgin innocence, one being brings life, with all the rest for death.
Neptune's child, shivering inside, drowns in the liquid gold. Cherish his life to the underworld. Make me flash and when the winter cries.
Voices swimming through the river, hold their life against the stream.
Searching for the room to catch on and see the sun beam.
Those suffocating painful tortures, long-cutting chambers of callous men, wandering on of phantom butchers. Emeralds are whipped away, emeralds are whipped away, emeralds are whipped away, emeralds are whipped away.
Whew, okay, well, that's why everybody was asking us to do this song. So, what do you got? What do you got, lady?
I'm very confused. Toward the end, it kind of sounded like she's talking about. I don't know. At some points, sounded like she was talking about herself like she was a mermaid, or maybe not. I don't know. Like maybe it has something to do with.
Pisces is a fish. You know the whole zodiac?
Yeah, I thought it was a zodiac symbol.
Yeah,
okay, and it's a fish in there?
It's a fish. So there's a lot of like aquatic imagery in this.
Yeah.
Because, it's the name of the song is Pisces. I'm assuming
I was gonna say, is that her?
she was born under that
Pisces
zodiac symbol.
So is it talking about?
So she's using.
Let's start at the beginning because.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I don't understand.
So she says, "Step forward and meet a new sunrise or a new date. A coward is shivering inside." So I think she's talking about who she is externally versus who she is internally. So when she talks scale armor ablaze, scale armor blaze. So fishes have scale. Mm-hmm. So but it's also armor. So what she is outside, and then it says virgin innocence. So basically, there's virgin innocence inside, and then there's scale armor outside. Mm-hmm. And then same thing, like a coward is shivering inside. Mm-hmm. So she perceives herself inside to be a shivering, coward, virgin, innocent, person. But outside, she's got these scales of whatever. And it says, one brings life, another runs for death. Because the Pisces symbol sometimes is two fish. Oh, so it's like, you ever seen that? Like the two, it's almost like a circle. Mm-hmm. So she's saying one side of her is life-giving and all that. But then there's another side of her that's destructive, that runs for death and all that.
What did it say? Ego hardly can be what?
Peaked. Because I'm selfless.
Yeah, is that...
I think it's an extremely ironic phrase.
Okay, maybe I'm seeing the irony. Well, the ego hardly can be peaked. Is she saying like her ego never gets that high, like it never finds its peak, like she never, because she's selfless?
Because she's selfless.
But it was just because I remember when that part came up, I'm like, how are you going to scream about being selfish? The camera is like dead on you, and you're yelling about, or I don't know if she was saying, I'm selfless. Like, that's like, I don't know. Like, the whole thing is about you right now at this point.
Well, it's like a person saying, I'm the humblest person in the world.
Yeah, right. You're bragging about being humble.
If you don't have any ego, then you know. So I think she's intentionally being ironic here.
Okay.
Because she's saying, because I'm selfless. But I think I think the whole point of the song is the back and forth between contradictions in her own personality and how people deal with being contradictory, because as we know, the human soul is immensely contradictory, and everybody's walking around who swallows suffering with a smile.
Yeah, that made sense.
Is why?
I mean, like, a lot of people do that. You've got a lot going on. We've talked about it. Everybody's, fighting some battle. Everybody's going through something, and there's sometimes where you take it and you smile and you go on with your day, and nobody actually knows what you're really going through.
This is interesting to me because I'm looking at her as a songwriter, and that line, Virgin Innocence, for example, I don't see a dude writing that type of a line.
No, I don't either.
Like, is this something where, because I'm an outsider here, is this as a woman, does that line resonate with you at all, or what comes to mind when you hear Virgin Innocence there?
Well, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I think that there's a lot of like virginity, the untouchedness, the purity of that over and against sexuality and everything that it brings. So when we talk about virgin innocence, it kind of is like this place before everything kind of got jacked up. So when I think of virgin innocence, I just think if she's still feeling that inside, like she still feels that purity, that childlikeness inside that was untouched. At the end, she talks about calloused men, she talks about scales coming off. So I think that it ends up going into that. But I think that's the two sides of her. One side being the side that's still, innocent and brings life. But then there's the death side of her that is not like that and is not in that same place. It almost sounds like the stuff we were talking about before.
Yeah, our culture is very, very strange when it comes to the different sexualities, because there's almost like a sadness about a woman losing her virginity.
Right, but when a man does, it's like this, yes, you've reached manhood.
Well, yeah, for the man, when he loses his virginity, it's coming of age. And it's almost, it's very interesting because it generally never gets characterized as losing something.
Yeah, but it does for a woman.
We never get characterized as losing virginity, whereas the woman is losing virginity. No matter how it happens, she's losing it. And so then, if it's characterized that way, then is there always an impulse to keep it then? Because you don't want to lose it? And I guess it depends on your background. It depends on the person.
It was for me, but I know it wasn't like that for a lot of my friends. Some of my friends were quick to get rid of it because they felt like it said something about them, that they were immature and that they hadn't experienced life and they were just some small child. But I didn't view it that way.
What did you look at it as?
There was so much like pressure put on like purity, and there was so much purity talk that when you finally get married and all of a sudden you're not in that virgin category anymore. Now all of a sudden you're like, so now am I dirty? What's happening here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was always weird, but I didn't realize how weird it was until I got older. Then I was like, wait a minute.
No promises I ever give don't rely on me, and I won't deceive. I grew in different normality with unblameable morality. Her lyricism is very interesting to me. So I knew somebody like this, right? Where they got to the point where they would just stop promising to be different.
Yep.
And it was, hey, I'm not lying to you. I'm telling you the truth. I'm unreliable. I'm these two different, one is very destructive and going to death, and one is very life-giving, and I can't promise you who you're going to run into today. But I'm not going to lie to you. This is a person who's like, hey, this is me being big on self-awareness, of being able to say, no, I can't promise you that. So, there you go. What do you think that line is? I grew in different normality with unblameable morality.
Well,
hooks
it seems
and
like
nets
how
are
she
there
grew
for
up.
me. Go ahead.
Yeah, those two lines seem like they go against each other again. So I grew up in a different normality. So what was normal was different than everybody's normal. Different normality is kind of interesting phrase, because they're all also opposites.
She's clever.
With unblamable morality. Morality always, in my opinion, of course, you know how I am, like, I always feel like morality kind of brings with it judgment. So if you have, but this is unblamable morality. So there was a morality there, but you weren't blamed, or I don't know. I thought that was interesting. What did you get from that part?
Well, I think that
But then she says hooks and nets are there for me. That kind of sounds like they're...
Well, if you're a fish, hooks and nets are bad, because that's good spelling. That's it. You're dead. Right.
Yeah.
But I think, like, if she grew up in a context where, like, it was an evil context or a bad context, then anything she did, she wouldn't get blamed for. Like, there wouldn't be any. There was no morality to be like, hey.
Yeah.
You kind of grew up in it's interesting. I think this girl's name is Tatiana. I think.
Yeah.
You grew up with a bunch of blamable morality, right? Like, you got all these, like, pathologies because of your whatever. But I guess what she's saying is she grew up without any of that finger pointing morality. The problem is that hooks and nets are there for her, though. It's like, when you grow up that way without any sort of structures, then you're much more likely to fall into traps. So,
but she's saying, but I'm skittish, so she's less likely to fall into the traps.
Yeah, well, she's scared to go in it. There's a lot of contradictions in her.
Neptune's child. I figured there was some.
Well, it's all the aquatic stuff because she's a Pisces and Neptune is the god of the sea.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Shivering inside, drowns in the liquid gold. Drowns in the liquid gold. Didn't she say something about the sun at the first line?
Yeah, she said sun there? At the beginning, sunbeam.
And then there's a search for a hook to catch on and see their sunbeam.
Yeah, I think she's talking about
herself.
Well, it could be her. Well, yes. But look, cherished his life to the underworld. Meet me flashing when winter cries. So I think this is probably her dad. Because she's saying she is Neptune's child, shivering inside. Because remember in verse 1, she said she was shivering inside. There it is right there, right?
Yeah. So she goes from saying she's a coward to saying she's Neptune's daughter?
Right, basically. Yeah. So but cherish his life to the underworld, meaning her dad is dead. And meet me flashing when winter cries, meaning they're going to meet again at some point. Which is probably why she's all over the place now, because she doesn't have her father.
Oh.
But that's a really interesting way of saying I have daddy issues. If I'm right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pisces swimming through the river all their life against the stream.
If her father died, that would make sense too.
Mm-hmm.
Search for a hook to catch on and see their sunbeam.
This is interesting to me, the last couple lines. On cutting tables of calloused men under a knife of handsome butchers. So when you catch a fish, and you're on the table, and now they're,
it sounds like they're scaling her.
Yeah, and emeralds ripped away.
What do you get from emeralds? I think that's the scales. Like, how it can kind of have that emeraldy greenish sort of.
Yes.
So I thought, but on a cutting tables of callous men, because I think
under
if you're
a knife
saying
of handsome butchers. That's such good.
Because if she had, let's say if you're saying she has daddy issues, and so I'm getting from that people have taken her on cutting tables of callous men, and she's found herself being killed on that table where men are callous with her under a knife of handsome butchers, but they're good looking guys. But at the same time, emeralds are ripped away. It's digging into her.
They're taking from her.
Yes.
They're taking from her. And
virgin innocence.
Well, I was going to say the song doesn't end with the chorus, where the chorus is talking about her protecting her virgin innocence with her scales. Yeah. The song ends with a knife. Under a knife of handsome butchers is a brilliant, brilliant line.
Mm-hmm. That's
probably the line of the week right now.
Yeah.
To describe, I mean, and I don't know the psychology of what it would be on a woman's side to feel that. What does it feel like to? Could you relate to this at all without getting too personal or whatnot? But
cutting tables. Have you ever seen somebody gut a fish and scale it and stuff? Cut the head off, slice it open, take the insides out, start taking the skin. It's a pretty gruesome little sight. So, you know, if she's, yeah, I definitely can relate to that. I mean, it just seems like a lot of times in the world that it just seems like that men are just trying to take from women, but then I don't see like, but then there's, you know, other times where you see women doing stuff to take from men. So there's kind of like this
there's
cycle of,
yeah, it's almost like a symbiotic relationship because like with her, it seems like, you know, it says no promises I ever give, don't rely on me and I won't deceive.
mm-hmm.
It seems like she had a shot at a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Right? Where don't rely on me, I won't deceive.
Well,
like,
when I wave my fin and shake my tail, isn't that like, I'm out of here?
Yeah. The beginning or the end, you can't tell. Where are we in the relationship? I don't know. It seems like she's like, look, I'm not, you know, this type of relationship in verse 2, like, it doesn't work for her because she's so erratic.
Mm-hmm.
But then what ends up happening is the people that she ends up being drawn to or whatever, or who catch her, end up being like this.
Mm-hmm.
Who, you know, callous, torturous men who are coldly scaling her and whatever. So it's interesting because she doesn't present herself as a victim in the sense of, oh, poor me.
Right.
Because she owns the fact in verse 2 that she's so erratic.
Yeah, exactly.
But that doesn't change the fact that
how
she's experiencing these other types of relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So
searching for a hook to catch on and see their sunbeam, then suffocate in painful tortures.
What about it?
Wait a minute. But the sunbeam is her, right?
So the Pisces are these fish swimming through the river all their life against the stream. You know, like you're going against the grain.
Yeah.
Right? Searching for a hook to catch on and see their sunbeam. Because, you know, like when you're biting or whatever, you see the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you see the sun through the water. Like the
so
closer,
who's searching for a hook?
The Pisces are. Because the subject is the Pisces are swimming through the river. All their life, that's the Pisces, swimming against the stream, searching for a hook to catch and see there. So it's the Pisces is the subject. So,
and then suffocating painful tortures, right?
Right, because what happens is when you get pulled out as a fish, that's when you start suffocating.
Boy,
but here's a crazy thing about being a fish, right? The closer you are to the surface of the water, the closer you are to the sun, the more danger you're in.
Right.
Right? So it's one of those, she's really brilliant because the lower you get in the water as a fish, presumably, the safer you are, but the darker it is. Right? So the higher you get to the water, the more you can almost get to the sun.
Mm-hmm.
But the horrible thing for a fish, the screwed up part is the closer you are to sunbeams, the closer you are to get put in the boat and put on the table.
Right.
So I think that's kind of the situation in her life where she's like, okay, her dad's dead. He's in the underworld, right? Mm-hmm. She's shivering inside, right? She's got these scales, and down the deeper in the abyss she goes, it's dark. She's safe. But then the more she tries to go see the sunbeam, the closer she is to getting hooked and whatever. Now,
doesn't she say something about that there was did she say anything about there being like gold inside of her, or light inside of her, or something like that?
Well, she said at the beginning, she says, "Step forward and meet a new sunrise."
Oh.
And then when she talked about the golden water drowns in the liquid gold, and she's talking about being Neptune's child.
Okay.
But you know the other thing about the song. So the song is about the dualistic nature of her.
And her vocal, she did it.
That's exactly where I was going. Where vocally, I was like listening to this, and I was like, okay, like this is a girl and she can sing. Like as a guy is in the metal band said, hey, you're you know, we can put some makeup on you and you can sing. All right, we're good. That'll be the band, right?
Uh-huh.
And then
that was so surprising.
I was surprised. I was like, whoa.
I wonder if she does that live or if they have like a little.
This is the live one.
This is live?
This is live.
So I was like, is that like, are they changing her voice a little bit or she really does that? I'm going to try that sometime when I'm alone.
I tell you what, if we had a band, we would be awesome because you have so much angst. Because the way you grew up and all the you know, whatever. So you can write some stuff like this. That was that checkmate thing that you wrote? Brilliant.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think that this is really, 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 really good stuff. I love the irony in her lyrics. than suffocate in painful tortures. You know, like you're out of the water, you suffocate. But Under a Knife of Handsome Butchers. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. I'm glad people suggested this. I'm very, very interested to see.
I like the colors in the video too.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see if this is going to end up being a primetime band or a night. We'll call it the nighttime, the underground. I think I'm changing it.
Oh, I like it.
Prime time, and we're going to do underground. Done. Boom.
You might end up changing prime time. It sounds like some Amazon thing.
Why are you so hurtful?
Because I know you have something better. Hurtful? I know you have something better. You just came up with the underworld. That was better than what?
No,
nighttime?
I didn't say underworld. I didn't say underworld. I said
Oh.
underground.
Underground. Well, either one would be fine.
She said underworld. Her dad, Neptune, went to the other.
Oh, right.
All right. Just rate the song.
Am I going to edit this out? No,
I'm not. rate the song.
6.
A 6?
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you give it a 6? What
because
happened?
I expected her voice to be, when she did the higher stuff, I expected more out of her. And there might be other songs where she does more with her vocals than what she did. She kind of stayed. There was like one part where she kind of like pushed it, but I thought it was going to be a little bit more on this.
This, I give it a 7.9. I felt like her lyricism was amazing.
It was.
I thought the lyricism was amazing. I thought that the contrast between the clean and the death vocals went with the song, went with the concept of the song. She's a very smart songwriter. The only thing that I didn't like about the video, I like headbanging. I like headbanging. I like raw, and there wasn't a lot of that.
No,
and so
didn't have that energy.
7.9.
But it had a shock factor.
I was legitimately shocked.
So was I.
I was legitimately shocked, and that's good. That's good that I was shocked because you can't predict stuff.
I like her get up too, the piercings and the lipstick, and it's fun looking.
You want piercings?
No, I don't. But I like it on her.
Okay. All right. Well, 7.9. What do you have?
6.
That's like a very uncomfortable. I don't want to get in trouble type laugh. I got in trouble yesterday, so I don't want to get in trouble again 2 nights in a row.
Oh my gosh.
So, all right. Well, 7.9. What'd you give it?
6.
A 6. Okay. All right. So there you go. That's number 1 from the underground. Peace. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Bang.